It's your boy DJ Akademiks, and goddamn, now the dick riding rodeo, man. I haven't seen this aggressive, vigorous, and shameless penis saddling in a while. I mean, actually, since Pinky was getting her pussy tenderized by Mr. Marcus and one of them get a booty videos. But still, man, a lot of people, man, and including me sometimes, we're prisoners of the moment. I mean, the best rapper to a lot of people is the rapper who just dropped the hottest project last, okay, or dropped the hottest song last. I've seen fans do it, right? They are going fucking nuts over the person who's hot in the moment, and then they make bold statements that kind of discount what somebody else did 10 years ago. Now, listen, man, we are just coming off the fucking disaster known as Hurricane Meek Mill. We were getting a goddamn stimulus package, a FEMA check, dare I say, by none other than Drizzy Drake and Future Vandross. People are excited. Drake put out a banging project. Future did too. Okay, we're ready. Now, we hear from Drake's producer, who I'm thinking he's being a prisoner of the moment, but we're going to talk about it. He jumps out and he says, and by the way, let me just explain who this guy is, right? His name is OvO 40. He's Drake's in-house producer. He mixes, he masters, he creates, he does everything. He's one of those producer extraordinaires, okay? He only works with Drake. He creates and he's crafted along with Drake and other people the sound that we kind of attribute to being Drake's sound, right? Now, the statement he made on Twitter that kind of had a lot of people, including me, saying, Shaggy? The fuck? Now, listen, I gotta wonder what he's rolling up his back was. It gotta be coke, but he said this, right? And we could only assume that he's speaking about Drake, because who the fuck else could he be speaking about? Now, he got on Twitter and he said this. He said he's the best to ever do this. I'll always stand by that. I've seen too much. I know too much about how this all works. There's no one else. And I'm like, God damn it, nigga, you might need to go to Planned Parenthood after all that goddamn dick road. What the fuck? Now, listen, here's the question. We're going to talk about it. Is Drake the best to ever do this? Now, I got to ask, and this is the only important question, because everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? I mean, some people say I'm biased towards Drake at times. I think I'm kind of fair. He is my favorite rapper. I do tell you guys that. But is Drake the best to ever do this? Because I got to ask, what is this? Are we talking about hip-hop? Are we talking about rap? Are we talking about making hit records? Are we talking about impact on the culture? Are we talking about intangibles that you can't even measure? What is this? Is it overall? Is it just music? What is this? That's where the debate centers around for me. Because I'll give you an example. I think Tupac is the best hip-hop artist ever. Okay, best. But if you ask me, is he a top MC or rapper? I would say no. Absolutely not. He's not even really in a discussion for me. Not top 10, but he's the best hip-hop artist, period, because that incorporates a lot of things other than just rapping. It incorporates impact and some intangibles you can't really measure. And of course, just flat out just being impactful beyond generations. Now, as far as a rapper, as a MC, if Drake receives help or received help, right? We heard Quentin Miller, could be others, right? And when I'm talking about help, I'm talking about reference tracks, especially for features where you're supposed to write a 16 people. Listen, we know classic verses by some of the all-time greats. And if you know that, Drake got a verse that's really good and you find out, he didn't even write it, it's like, to me, it's like Barry Bonds. I know a lot of people will say, who cares if he used a ghostwriter for that? He's written other stuff himself. But think about the Barry Bonds comparison. Barry Bonds was one of the top baseball players in the game. Then he started using steroids and became the best, right? Or he was vying to be the best for the home run champion or whatever, right? So he wasn't a scrub when he started getting help. To be honest, the help just made him seem superhuman. So we can't just say, Drake is already good, so if he receives help, it doesn't matter. It does matter. So for me, Drake is disqualified from that discussion. And listen, Drake's my favorite rapper. I put it out there all the time. Listen, I'm transparent. But as far as the best rappers, the best MCs, Drake is disqualified from that discussion. If we're talking about the best hit makers though, right? The person who has the best run on the top, who's dropped the most consistent hits, right? And you got to think about it. This is the music industry, right? You can rap all good all you want, but you got to make money. And you make money by dropping hits. If we're talking about the best hit makers, Drake is definitely in that discussion to be one of the best ever. He's been at the top like 5-6 years now, right? He's looking towards going to 10. So he's doing pretty good. So if we're talking about just making hits, I gotta say Drake is that guy. Now, let me just give you a distinction, right? Because I'm going to keep saying it. When it comes to just rap, being an MC, there's an asterisk near his name. Would you really talk about somebody who took steroids in the same breath as somebody who did not, or we did not know if he did? Now, think about Kendrick, and a lot of people have made Kendrick to be Drake's like top adversary. He's like the antagonist in this whole story of hip hop, right? Now, Kendrick is a good lyricist, but he's a lukewarm hit maker. He always delivers with the lyrics, but delivering with hits? Come on, dog. So you gotta pick your poison. What lens are we looking at? What's the criteria to be the best to do this? What is this? So that's the biggest problem I got with a statement like this. I respect his opinion, but it's still very vague. It doesn't pinpoint why he's the greatest or in what lens we're evaluating him as opposed to everybody else, okay? So until then, and we know we've seen 40, he made some statements even about like around the QM situation. He didn't really back it up too much. He sent out a couple tweets and that's it. If you're going to really make a bold statement like that and really want it to be taken serious, you got to be able to come to war. You got to go to war for that shit. You got to then put up real facts. You got to really debate, not just say something because it's your personal opinion. And you work with Drake, so to keep it real, you're getting money with Drake. Okay, to keep it real, the person who's the best is the person giving you the millions, ain't it? So get in the comment box. What do you guys think? As I said, listen, man, Drake is dope. There's nothing I really say Drake is just whack at it. Even as a singer, he's good. Or decent. I'll just say decent. I ain't going to say good, but he's decent, right? But the thing about the whole thing is that if we're going to talk about just being a rapper, MC, a lyricist, there's an asterisk there. Without the asterisk, we could kind of have that discussion, but there's an asterisk. So get in the comment box. What do you guys think about that? Make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe. I'm out.